Recording in progress.
Great.
Okay, so we're actually going to start today with the pages that I had you print.
Okay, great.
So it's going to get really bright on this side so that you can
Mhm.
actually see my pages. So I'm
Okay.
going to share my overhead camera. And can you see that okay?
Yes, I can. That looks great.
Are you seeing the side panel too, where all the settings
Yes.
are?
Yes, I am.
Let me get rid of that. I, you know, I I'm feeling technical difficulties today for some reason.
It's okay. There are lots of days like that.
Uh, there
There
we
you go.
go. That's
Mhm.
better. No more side panel. Okay. So in the very beginning, we really encourage people to help their students understand that Evo is hardware.
Okay.
And whether it's color codes that you're using or whether it's Blockly you're using or Python, that's all the software part that programs the hardware part to work. So we
Okay.
find it's really helpful for students to understand the hardware. So we created this get to know Evo lesson that's what the whole lesson talks about. Now, are you familiar with our video lessons at all?
No, I'm not.
Then let me rewind a little bit.
Okay.
We actually have a platform called Ozobot Classroom. You might
Okay.
be familiar with that.
Mm-mm.
Excellent. Let's start from the very, very beginning.
Yeah, sorry. I'm a novice.
Perfect. No, that's perfect.
Mm.
So Ozobot Classroom is where all of our lessons are housed and all kinds of other information. So let me stop sharing my overhead camera and let's just rewind a second here.
Okay.
Stop share. Let me share a different tab and take you to classroom so you can see that. So the website for Ozobot Classroom is classroom.ozobot.com. Other
Okay.
than it's different than Google Classroom, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
So when you get to Ozobot Classroom, free account, there's no in-app purchases, nothing like that.
Okay.
Um, you can sign in with your Google account or you can sign in with another email. You can sign up at the bottom to create that account. And I'll sign in here so you can see what it looks like. So when you get to Ozobot Classroom, the first page you'll see is the dashboard. And this little card up at the top will take you to some of our intro lessons.
Okay.
The lesson library here, we've got ozobot.com here. We also have links to Ozobot Blockly. We do
Okay.
have a simulator. So students and it uses Blockly. So you can create a program in Ozobot Blockly and then run it in the simulator so students can see what their bot's going to do before it
Mm.
actually does it.
Okay.
Actually, in the simulator, you can then connect to your bot and run the same program.
Okay.
So it's great for debugging. It's great for pair programming. It's
Okay.
it's also great for conserving some battery life on your robot. So the simulator is a fantastic thing that's, well, I was going to say new, but it's not really new anymore. It's been around for about a year or so.
Okay.
So
Mhm.
that's that. We also are running a Python beta currently, and that I think will be ready right around back to school time.
Oh,
So
great.
if you wanted to participate in that Python beta, you could do that.
Okay.
Then all of these things over on the right hand side are deal with Ozobot Blockly. So Shape Tracer 1 and 2 and Ozotown are all challenge games that kids can play. They're all web based, so they don't have to
Okay.
sign in or anything. Um, and those are my favorite thing about those three games is that Blockly can be a little overwhelming because there's a lot of blocks to use.
Okay.
So with those 3 games, students only have the blocks that they need in the
To do the
side
game.
panel to use.
Okay.
So it especially if you have students who are feeling a little overwhelmed at
Hmm.
some of this, it's really fantastic for special needs students,
Okay.
um, because sometimes if there's too much information, they get overwhelmed. So those are really great for special needs students as well.
Okay.
If your schools have 3D printers, we have a CAD library. Let me
Okay.
actually just take you to the CAD library to show you some of the stuff that we have there. We've got a hockey puck or a hockey stick attachment that goes with a hockey lesson. We
Oh,
have these
cool.
little blocks back here and
Hmm.
barrels. That little hat you saw, we have
Hmm.
bowling pins. And all of
Nice.
this all of the files there are there for you to 3D print, and these are all again free as well.
Okay, great.
If you have a bit for some reason, I don't know if you're familiar with bit, it's our smaller robot that we actually don't sell anymore.
Okay.
But some people still have them and they still work. So
Okay.
we haven't sold them for actually about 4 years in the United
Oh, wow.
States. So for any of them to still be working is pretty fantastic
Yeah.
because the batteries are so small that
Right.
without regular use, the batteries, they don't last forever.
Right.
So bit case, we have a case for Evo as well that you can 3D print. Then this is my favorite. It's the pen holder.
Oh, that's
There's a little
awesome.
attachment that goes right on the back of the Evo, and a little riser that you can put on. Then there's 3 different sizes of pen holders. The 13 millimeter pen holder actually works with Ozobot markers. And so you attach the markers to that holder, and then you can program Evo through Blockly to make shapes and
Cool.
you know like spirograph kind of things. There are lessons that go with all of these items in the CAD library as well.
Great.
So there's you can print the front clip that has the little bulldozer front, the little front
Okay.
end loader on the front. There's a little trailer that goes with the back
Hmm.
clip hat. So you'll
Yeah.
notice there's 2 different attachments to the top of the hat. The one on the left is actually like a T. So you could do like a little 3D, like if you were doing planets or something, you could do a little
Hmm.
3D planet and stick it and put it in that. Or
Okay.
the one on the right actually holds a toothpick. So
Oh,
if you wanted
cool.
to do some kind of I don't know, you could do the same, planet. You could put the sun
Right.
on the toothpick and use that little hat. So those are kind of fun. We have the pucks for the hockey and the hockey stick.
Neat.
And there are a few more things that I know are coming down the pipeline there that haven't made it to the website yet. But that's a
Wonderful.
really fun way for kids to see things come to life with their 3D printer and then be able to actually use it.
Use it. That's great.
Yes.
So
So
many 3D printers are sitting around without being used. So this is great.
exactly. People just don't know what to do with them. So,
Right.
so here's something that somebody can do that they can actually then use with their Evo.
Okay.
So that's in classroom as well in our 3D CAD library. You can also access the library just through the website, so you don't have to go through a classroom to get to the CAD
Okay.
library. We also have pacing guides for kindergarten through middle school. And those just list if somebody was going to do a unit with Ozobot and have it take a whole semester, there's enough
Hmm.
lessons in there that they could plan once a week a
Okay.
lesson for Ozobot with that pacing guide. So, and again, it's designed to be used once a week for a semester. So,
Okay.
and in those pacing guides are introductory lessons to color codes, introductory lessons to Blockly. We're going
Hmm.
to go through some of those introductory lessons today, so you're a little bit more familiar with those.
Great.
And then there's also content integrated lessons in the pacing guide as well. So There's enough content in there for a whole semester,
Great.
and sometimes you can even, if you add in more content integrated lessons, you could actually have a full year of content for a once a week kind of pacing for those.
Okay.
Then Metabot. Metabot is so much fun. Don't need an actual bot to use Metabot.
Okay.
So in after our little break for your other meeting, we're actually going to use Metabot a little bit, just so you can
Great.
see what that is. It's an augmented reality thing that you can use with a tablet or a phone.
Okay.
And we're currently working on, it's brand new, so we're currently working on lessons to go with it. And it's another one of those ways that kids can build their program and then see it running before they actually load it onto their bot or run it on their bot via Bluetooth. So it's another one of those battery saving ideas, and also a pair programming kind of idea can be used that way. And it's a lot of fun. There's costumes and
Oh, that's neat. Yeah.
yeah, and kids can also use, it's a VR thing too, so you can also see that the bot in your space if you want to use it that way as well. So those are all things right there in the dashboard.
Nice.
From the dashboard over on the left hand side, you'll see the lessons tab, and that's where all of our lessons are housed. You can use filters. So these are the most recent lessons that have been put in, the fancy fulcrums. Those lessons actually go with STEAM kits that we've created. Those 3 lessons go with the Seesaw kit. And I don't know if you're familiar with those at all.
No, what are STEAM kits? Sorry, brand new.
No, that's okay.
Yeah.
We have a lot of this stuff. I'm going to stop sharing for a minute and show you the boxes for our STEAM kits. We have a lot of new products out that have just recently come out in the last 6 months or 9 months. And so people just don't know about them because they're brand new.
Awesome.
So we have, let's get our boxes right here. I'm not here to sell you these, but if they
yeah, I'm interested. Yeah.
If they'll work for you, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
So we have a Sun, Earth, Moon kit.
Okay.
It has just the sun, the earth, and the moon. And the lessons are about seasons, eclipses, the lunar cycle.
Okay.
It's all about
all there.
That relationship of the sun, the earth, and the moon.
Okay.
So in that kit, you know what? I don't have one that's all put together. It's all still in the box. But it comes with everything that you would need. Oops, here, I'll show you the earth. So this is actually the earth. So kids will fold and bend, and then there's little stickers in there to tape it together.
Yeah.
In the end, it's a 3D earth.
Okay.
Super fun.
Yeah.
And the other planets, however, you pop them out of some thicker, it's not even cardstock, it's heavier.
Okay.
And then they slot together. So you have all of these slotted planets. And I don't have any out right now.
It's okay.
We're selling our house.
Oh, so there's a lot going on.
To move.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, what do I leave out and what do I pack?
Right. Where's all my stuff? Yeah.
Those planets were something that got packed.
Yes, that is totally
fine. Get them out. Anyway, so Sun, Earth, Moon. There's lessons in the lesson library that actually go with the Sun, Earth, Moon kit.
Okay.
And there's even a little flashlight that goes in that fits into the sun.
Okay.
So that kids can actually see the shadow of the earth as it's traveling around.
Oh, that's cool.
The moon, to see the eclipses or see the shadow of the moon as it's traveling. So that's one. We also have the solar system kit. The solar system kit comes with all of the planets. So this is what they look like when they first come in the box.
Okay.
So you pop those planets out and then you slot them together. This one's the sun. We tried as best we can to get them to be somewhat I don't know, like if you were actually going to make it so that the sizes were proportional, you'd need a really, really big room.
Right.
So, these are
Right.
proportional as much as possible. Oh, we've got the bigger ones that
Oh,
are
wow. Yeah.
anyway. So those are super fun. The lessons that go with these have to do with naming the planets and
Mm.
some of the attributes of some of the planets. And then there's a programming challenge that asks students to go from the Earth, go to Mars, go around another planet, tell about what it is, and get back to the Earth.
That's cool.
So those are pretty fun. They come with cards, that information cards and playing cards for those activities. And they come with little hats so that you can
Oh,
actually, once you pop out the Earth and the
right.
Mars and Venus, you can actually
Put them
slot them
on
into the
there.
little helmets and do those activities. So that's the solar system kit. Then we have a sundial as well. And the sundial is just that. It's a sundial.
Okay. Awesome.
With some activities that go with telling time. And I don't know, that's a really great one for younger kids who are learning how to tell time.
Right.
You can even just take the sundial outside if you wanted to.
Oh, neat.
And put it out in the sun and maybe take a chalk and make a mark where you put it so that when you take it back out later in the day, you can set it in
You
the
can
same
see it.
spot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So those are 3 of the kits we have out. I actually have a seesaw kit right here. The seesaw kit comes with a seesaw and a board. Kids, the activities for that one have kids placing, and it comes with magnets actually, that sort of weights. So the students will put weights on one side and weights on the other and see if it balances. And then on the track of the seesaw are different locations. And one of the activities is they have to put different amounts of weights on certain locations and see if it will balance.
Okay.
And so that's a cool activity too.
Yeah.
Balance and unbalanced forces. And excuse me, there are some other activities in there as well that compare the weights to the Ozobot. And anyway, so
Yeah. Very fun.
Yeah, our next kit that we have coming out is a clock. And it's very fun because not only is it telling time, but we have sections where they can work with fractions.
Okay.
So that one will be coming out, I think, for back to school.
Okay.
And our last kit, it's not really a science kit. It's for younger grades in particular. It's magnets that are color codes.
Aw.
If I can get. So these are a prototype. So this isn't exactly what they'll look like. They're a
Okay.
little bit thicker than this and they have rounded corners.
Okay.
But this will save markers. It will
Yeah.
save soap. It will save
That's
a lot
awesome.
of hand washing for
Yeah.
younger kids. And also for kids with manual dexterity issues that really have a hard time
With the
using the
line.
markers. Yeah, these are fantastic.
Good.
And I just finished writing a few lessons for them. So there's a whole intro series that will go with those as well, that will introduce all the lessons in each of 3 kits. So we have a base kit that has lines, curves, intersections, and then direction at intersection codes. We have a speed kit that contains all the speed codes, and then a special moves kit that has the spin and tornado and backwalk and zigzag, as well as the line switch and U-turn codes. So 3 different kits for those, and all of them have quite a few lessons. I believe the base kit has 9 or 10 lessons that just introduce, and they move pretty slow because they're geared toward younger students.
Young kids. Okay.
Yeah. So each kit also comes with a magnet board. So the magnet board and the magnet tiles actually come in the kit together.
Nice. That's awesome.
Those are just some things that are coming that are coming.
Yeah,
Um,
wonderful.
yeah, those 3 STEAM kits that I just showed you and the seesaw are available for purchase currently.
Okay.
The magnets, they're really close to being ready.
Okay.
I think I just sent an email for pre-orders yesterday.
Okay,
So
great.
those should be coming out soon. And then the clock for back to school.
Yeah, neat.
A lot of things. That's all of those products are new in the last 6 months,
That's a
probably.
lot of new
That's a
stuff.
lot of
Yeah,
new
you guys
stuff,
have
a
been
lot of new
busy.
stuff. Yeah. So let me share my screen and let's go back to
Okay.
classroom for a moment. So I can show you some of those things that are there. All right. Do you see my classroom
Yes.
screen again?
Mhm.
Okay. So in the lesson screen, you can actually filter by subject, by grade, and there's more filters here. Like if you wanted to only color code lessons to show up, you could do that here.
Mhm.
Um, Again, we also not only have lessons that are created by us, but we have community lessons as well. So
Okay.
people in the community who like their Ozobots and want to save their lessons or share them with other people can also put their lessons in the lesson library.
Okay.
And so if you wanted a community lesson, you could find that there too. Um, One of the things that we tried to do that came out of COVID, which I think was a really great,
Mhm.
um, not some things about COVID were terrible.
Right.
Other things about COVID, I think it really made us stretch to come up with new ways to teach and
I
new ways
agree.
to present information. So, there are good things that came out of COVID. Some of those things are video lessons. So if you only want to see lessons that have a video, you can click that filter there and video lessons will come up. So
Awesome.
we made, excuse me, we made a couple of different series of lessons that are just introductory lessons. So we have an intro to color code series, and that really covers kindergarten through whatever grade you're working with.
Mhm.
However, for Blockly, we came up with a lesson series that is differentiated by grade. So we
Okay.
have a kindergarten first grade Blockly series that's animated. Our creative team did just an amazing job in producing those. And so for kindergarten and first grade, they have their very own Blockly series, so they can start block coding. Um,
Awesome.
at that grade level, which is amazing because then by fifth grade they're into Python and
Right.
ready for the workforce at sixth
Yeah,
grade.
I was gonna say.
So we have the series for kindergarten, first grade, then we have a separate series actually for second through fifth, and then sixth and up has their own series. It's just the wording, the lessons are similar, but the content is just a little more focused on a little more mature verbiage, etc.
Mhm.
So you'll see that very first one is the Intro to Blockly series sequences, which is the second lesson for grades 6 through 12 there.
Okay.
But as you scroll through, these actually, I don't think are in any order since we just filtered for video lessons. You'll
Mhm.
know that it's a video lesson because it has this little play
Right.
arrow in the bottom right-hand corner.
Mhm.
And all of the video lessons that I know of actually were created by Ozobot. So you can be,
Okay.
assured that it
Mhm.
has some quality and it's been reviewed by us multiple times.
Mhm.
So here's a content integrated lessons comparing decimals for fifth grade. What's the speed for fifth grade? Subtraction story time for first grade. So all of these have a video component and those videos are all student facing. So if a teacher wanted to use the video in lieu of doing direct instruction, they could do that.
Okay.
Um, they would just need to hit the pause, but some of the videos have just the full video. Others have chapters.
Okay.
So it really just depends on how you want to use them and which video you're using. The younger grades are full videos, so the teacher could just hit the pause button. Some of the other intro lessons are actually in chapters. So you could do one chapter, stop, have the kids do the activity, and then move to the next chapter when they were ready.
Great.
So yeah, we actually even have a couple of lessons that use the shape tracer games that
Okay.
we talked about a minute ago.
Mm-hmm.
Patterns and waves for 4th grade. So the other great thing about the lesson library is not only do we have those intro series for Blockly and for color codes, but we also have content integrated lessons.
That's great.
We're mostly filled in on content integrated lessons for 2nd through 5th.
Okay.
That was kind of our initial, let's get 2nd through 5th because that's our main audience. And
Right.
so we're filling in kindergarten, 1st grade, as well as middle school currently.
Okay.
So new lessons for those grades will be
Mm-hmm.
forthcoming pretty regularly. So also, there's a way to save lessons. So if you are scrolling through looking for a particular lesson for a topic and you found one that you thought, oh, I really like how that lesson looks, but I don't want to have to search for it again, you can come over to the right-hand side and click on the little heart. And
Okay.
it actually will save it here in your saved lessons.
Great.
I have a whole bunch of stuff in my saved lessons here. So it actually will
Great.
save it to the bottom of the list. So then you don't have to go searching for it in the library again. You can just go to your saved lessons. And then if you wanted to create your own lesson and submit it to the lesson library, you would go to the My Lessons tab there
Okay.
and hit Create Lesson. When you do that, you can actually fill in a template, or if you have your lesson already written up as a PDF, you can just upload it here and add
Great.
a title, etc., and you're good to go.
Great.
Then the Devices tab will take you to a screen where you can click on different things to help you update bots. So these are all instructions on updating and making
Okay.
sure the bots are all up to date. And I believe those take you to our blog, which will get you to the instructions for that.
Okay.
So that's Ozobot Classroom. Only teachers need to create a login. There's no student login there at all.
Okay.
I believe on that login page, actually, there's a little thing at the top. Are you a student? When you click that, it actually takes you to our website as opposed to another login place, because we don't collect any student data at all. We got out of that business.
Yeah.
Right after COVID.
Yes.
It just is too, there's so many different requirements for that.
Yes.
It just didn't make sense for us to maintain that. So
Right.
yeah. So that's Ozobot Classroom. Do you have
Wonderful.
any questions about Ozobot Classroom?
No, I took a whole page of notes. So it's a very awesome resource. I'm excited to dig
and it's
into
all
it.
free.
Yeah, it's amazing.
That's there's so many lessons there as well. And not just, and I'll always plug the Ozobot created lessons, but there are some really, really fantastic community created lessons there as well. I don't know if you're familiar with the UN Sustainable Development Goals or not. The UN had, I'm not sure who created this, but it's really fantastic about sustainable development for the planet, basically. And so we actually contracted with one of our Ozobot supporters to create a series of lessons around those sustainable development goals. So sustainable cities, water recycling, water, what's the word? Conservation of the forests. And anyway, I believe there's 17 lessons to that series that she created, and they are absolutely fantastic.
That's amazing.
So, even the community created lessons, sometimes you find a dud, but you'll find lessons that have just been really well done. And so a lot of resources there for that.
Great.
Yeah, let's get back over to our Get to Know Evo lesson. It's the first lesson that we always recommend people do. And so let me share, let's see. I don't want to make you late for your meeting. So we have about just less than 30 minutes.
Yeah, we're good.
Do you want to Do you want to end at 5 minutes till the hour just to have time to
Yeah, that would be
run
fine.
to the
Thank
restroom
you.
before?
Yeah, we'll
Okay.
make it work.
Yeah, we'll pause at 5 minutes till the hour.
Thank you.
Okay, let me go back to my overhead camera here. Okay, so with this lesson, there is actually a video that goes with it. I'm not going to show you that video so that
Okay.
just, so we can get through it a little quicker. We actually also have a new version of Evo, another one of those things that came out of COVID, the chip shortage, everyone's favorite item.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
We actually had to re-engineer Evo to accommodate the chips that we could actually get.
Right.
And so we've had, our engineering team has been crazily busy doing that.
Yeah.
So we actually will be coming out with an updated sheet like this for this
Okay.
school year. Really, the only difference is that we now have a wireless charging option. So
Okay.
if you look at the bottom view of Evo over
Right.
here, there will be two little charging dots on
Okay.
each side of that, where the new kits that people purchase have a different style of charge base. So the charge base that I have here on my desk looks like this, with little slots that the Evo goes
Okay.
in. I have black Evos in there. I don't think those are even available anymore.
Okay.
But the white Evo shows it a little better.
Okay.
Here, let me put it here so you can actually see it. So these ones slot in and out with the charge port that's
Right.
on the back. The new ones, actually, the Evo actually just sits in, and it does snap in, but it just sits on upright instead of having to slot it in. So that's kind of a good improvement, I think.
Yes.
Because, the little slots are sometimes, we always suggest that teachers put the bots in the slots because of how they, the charge port has to be seated just right. And, kids aren't always careful.
They're not. Yeah.
It's just, that's how kids are. So that wireless charging allows the kids actually to just set their Evo upright back on the charge base. So that makes things just a little easier. So that's really the biggest change. Everything else is pretty much the same.
Okay.
So let's start with the wheels and motor. Those are here on the,
Okay.
and if you have an Evo, you can.
Yeah, let me grab it. It's right behind me.
Yeah.
One.
Yeah, the wheels are kind of oriented toward the back of the bot. So the charge port is what we actually consider the back of the bot. And
Okay.
it does kind of matter, because when you put it on a line, it needs to go forward. So it needs to be oriented with that charge port in the back.
Right.
So let's put the wheels on there. And just from that front view.
Awesome.
And the charge port you can see on the back view.
Yeah.
And it's right there in the center. And you can see it from the top view as well.
Okay.
Then we have the speaker. The speaker is actually on the front of the bot. So if you turn it around, it's right here in between these two white things that are on the side. It's right in the middle, underneath that little grill-like area. That's where the speaker is.
Perfect.
And then if you go back over to the left side of the bot, above the wheel, there's that little embossed spot on it. That's the power button.
Oh, okay. Nice.
And if you just click it once, just one quick click, it will turn the bot on. The lights will turn on, including some lights on the bottom. That front row of little green or yellow lights, that's actually the line following sensors. So let's go to the bottom view of the bot, and we'll put in line following sensor.
Okay.
Then that white light that you see in the middle, that's the
Mhm.
color sensor.
Okay.
So that group of sensors, the line following sensor is exactly what it is, what it says it is. It helps Evo see and follow the line. And
Mhm.
when, in order to follow the line, what it's looking for is the contrast between the black line and the white paper.
Okay.
That's why it's a wider group of sensors. And that's also why when you do line following, the lines can't be too wide or too narrow. They have to kind
Okay.
of be just right. But we'll talk about that a little more in a minute. That color sensor is what allows Evo to see colors and specifically the color codes. And
Mhm.
so that's the sensor. That's the magic right there.
Nice. That's cool.
Then we have LEDs. We have a top LED and there's 5 LEDs on the front. So let's
Mhm.
put that in as well. So
Okay.
that's this one here and
Okay.
then these here. So
Perfect.
right there. If you do a single click, it will then turn the bot off and all of the lights should go off.
Okay.
Then we have on the front and the back of the bot, those little white things that surround the speaker on the front
Mhm.
are in a similar location on the back. Those are actually proximity sensors.
Okay.
Those are little IR sensors that send out a signal, and the reflected signal is what Evo measures and reacts to when the proximity sensors are programmed.
Okay.
And sneak preview,
Mhm.
we actually have some new blocks that are being added to Blockly for back to school that allow bots to talk to each other.
Oh, how fun.
So the blocks have always kind of been there and we've used
Mhm.
them in the past for different things, but they're going to be publicly available in Blockly starting with back to school.
Okay.
So we're working on some lessons for that right now, but
Okay.
it's those proximity sensors that allow the bots to actually communicate with each other. So
That's cool.
that's going to be really fun. And then let's see. Oh, our LED light is also in that top view. Looking at the lines that we haven't filled in yet.
Mhm.
Then the very last thing is the Bluetooth antenna. So if you look at the top of the bot, there's a
Mhm.
little white prism at the very front edge of that top.
Okay. Yep.
Well, that's the Bluetooth antenna.
Okay.
And that allows the bot to communicate with the computer or the iPad or phone that you're working with. When you have a
Okay.
Blockly program that you want to load with Bluetooth, that's where it all happens.
Awesome. Wow, that's small for taking all that information in.
No, right?
Yeah.
Well, and considering all of the things that this little bot is capable of, it's really very small.
Yeah.
So yeah, but that's part of the that's part of the draw of it. An individual student can use it on their desk. They can program it to do all kinds of things, talk, do
Yeah.
light little light shows, dance, all right there on their desk in
Yeah.
front of them. So all right, let's go to the next page. Oh, now what did I do with my pages? That's not them.
Mhm.
I put my pages down when I was. Where did I put there? And now I have some mixed up pages here. Sorry,
Okay. No, it's okay.
that's not the one we're looking at. Here it is. All right. So the very first thing we're going to do is we're going to calibrate. You may want to just have a single page without anything underneath it because we're going to do some filling in
Okay.
black marker. So sometimes the
Okay.
marker bleeds through the page. So at the beginning of each session with Ozobots, it's important to calibrate the bot so that the bot can use the light in the room to say, this is how much light we have, this is how much we're going to use.
Okay.
So to calibrate, we'll fill in this little dot right here with black marker.
Okay.
Now, you don't have to fill in a new dot every time. I usually tell people either print a bunch of black dots and cut them out and keep them with your bots. Take a 3x5 card. The very first session you have with your students, make a dot to go with each bot. Keep
Okay.
the dot and the bot together. So when kids turn in their bot, they turn in their dot, and that will save markers.
Okay. I actually have to get another pack because the ones I pulled out are
Oh no.
dead. Hold on one second.
Okay.
All right, let me try this one. Okay, this one's a little better.
So something to keep in mind, if you have a whole bunch of markers and they're all dead, you also use Crayola markers.
Oh, okay.
We do suggest using the pastel colors because sometimes kids press hard or they go over it multiple times.
Right.
And sometimes that will create an issue with the color sensor.
Okay.
So pastel colors, if you're going to use Crayola or Sharpie as well. Sharpies are
Okay.
a little more dangerous because they're permanent.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Younger kids, but if you've got some trustworthy ones, sometimes the Sharpies are fine. But again, with those younger kids, the
I know.
markers end up all over the kids, end up all over the table. Yeah, you know.
I know. It's
Not
rough.
telling you anything you don't know. That's why we created the magnets, and I'm so excited for them.
Yes.
Yeah, it'll save markers, it'll save soap.
Right.
All right. So
All
once
right.
that dot is filled in, you place the bot right on top of the dot.
Okay.
And there's actually two ways you can do this. You can actually calibrate with the bot off or with the
Okay.
bot starting with the bot on. So we're going to just calibrate it with a bot off.
Okay.
All you do is press the power button and hold it. When that top light, the top LED flashes white,
Yeah.
go the power button.
Cool.
It should turn left and right and then move off the dot.
Yes.
Now, the moving off the dot part, that's most important because it's then seeing the contrast between the black dot and the white paper.
Okay.
So when if you're going to make separate dots and keep them with bots, you want the paper to be big enough for the bot to move off the paper,
Okay.
move off the dot and stay on the paper, if that makes sense, just so that
Yes.
you can see the contrast.
Okay.
Sometimes when you calibrate the bot, the little light on the top will flash red. That means the calibration was not successful. Just try it again.
Okay.
Sometimes this takes a little bit of practice because you really have to be watching that top light. So if you calibrate it when the bot's already turned on, it does exactly the same thing. And you do it the same way. You hold the power button down until the white light flashes, and then it performs the same action.
Okay.
So off or on, it doesn't really make a difference if you start with the bot off or start with the bot on.
Right.
No, and I don't know which would work better for kids, actually.
Right.
It would, be up to the teacher to decide which is going to work best for their kids. All right, you ready to draw a line?
I am.
Here we go. We're going to start with this circle on the side. Circles can be a little tricky because the line needs to be about the same width as those guidelines that are on the paper. So
Okay.
the width of the marker, the chisel tip of the marker is about that width. So if you
Okay.
can get that chisel tip flat on the page, That makes it a little bit easier to get that nice width of the marker. And that takes some practice. I also encourage people to move their paper instead of the marker as much, just because it just makes it a little bit easier.
Okay, I'm gonna grab one more marker. Look at this tip. It's totally flat. So
Are those, please tell me those markers have been used before and that's
oh
not,
yes.
those aren't new.
No. We have a STEM lending library that
Oh,
we
okay.
operate for
Yeah.
all of our schools. So teachers
Yeah.
check out these materials. So these have been well used.
Okay. Well, shoot.
Yeah. Hold on. There we go. All right. Looks like I have to replace
I
a
had
bunch of
one
markers.
red marker once that was a little bit smashed on the end.
Yeah.
I actually found that one worked better for
Yeah.
just because, the chisel tip is great, but it's really it's, I don't know what word to use, maybe rigid.
Right.
So that little softer tip actually made a better line for me. But
For there.
I
I'll have
wouldn't
to.
recommend smashing all of the tips of the markers either.
No. Well, it looks like I'll be replacing some markers here over the summer.
Yeah. And if you wanted to do Ozobot markers, we actually have a new we've redesigned our markers too, actually, and they're going to be,
Okay.
they're triangular now instead of
Okay.
round, just to better support little
Support.
hands.
Yeah, hands. Yeah.
So they're triangular, and if I don't have any yet, but I believe they're going to be double-sided, and one's going to be a chisel tip and the other side is going to be just a finer tip, in case instead of using the chisel tip end, kids want to
Right.
fill in a little differently. I think they're doing
Okay.
a finer tip.
All right. Nice.
Right. So with your bot on, we've just
Mhm.
calibrated, so we're good to go there. Just set your bot on that line.
Okay. Go.
And it should follow it around indefinitely
Yay.
because it's a circle.
Yeah. So, okay. So just keep going and okay.
Yeah, just keep
Awesome.
going. And if you want to leave it going, let's fill in the lines at the bottom of the page as well
Okay.
with a black marker. You'll notice there's a little BK next to each one of those line segments, and that indicates the color black. We used B for blue, so BK is black.
Black. Okay. Oh, this is fun.
I love doing these trainings because it doesn't matter how old you are. Ozobots are just fun.
Yeah, I love it.
Even my mother-in-law, she's 90.
Yeah.
I had some bots at home one time. We lived with her for a while.
Yeah.
I had some bots at home once, and we had these placemats on our table, and they weren't, there weren't anything special. They were probably from, Dollar Tree or something.
Right.
And the bot, she just turned one on and set it down. Well, it started following the design on the on the
Oh, how
placemat.
cool.
I
Yeah.
did not think it would do that, just because of the colors. Like, it was blue
Right.
on blue, and anyway, she got the biggest kick out of it. And every chance
That's
she got,
amazing.
she would just turn on the button and set it on the placemat.
Right. That's awesome. Yeah, look, it's following my lines. Cool.
So you'll notice at the end of the line, there's a green, blue, and it's actually supposed to do something there. But
Turn
sometimes
around. Yeah.
my green, it's actually supposed to do a little dance, but sometimes
Okay.
my green printer doesn't like my green.
Mine did it. I think it
Did it
did.
do a little dance? And
Yeah. And then turned around. It like wiggled and then moved.
let's see. We may need to. Yeah, I'm thinking my bot needs to be updated, actually. So one of the things that we've been struggling with is some of the new chips that we have.
Okay.
The tolerances with the color sensor are different than with our original chips.
Oh.
So the bots are having difficulty seeing
Mm-hmm.
green, because that should actually do a little dance at the end of my line. You know what? While you're at your other meeting, I'm going to talk to my QA
Okay.
guy and see if we can get the link to do some updating. So this little mouse pad is actually a test track, and
Oh.
bot should follow that test track, and it's not. There it goes. Let's see if it recognizes the green here. It really likes this color green. It doesn't
Okay.
seem to like any other color green.
Yeah.
Why
That's a
that
cool mouse pad though.
I think actually, you're in Pennsylvania, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Are you going to ISTE by chance in Philadelphia?
No, I usually do go when it's in Philly, but I'll be on vacation whenever.
Oh,
I'll be in Scotland. So
well,
yeah,
that's not.
I know, right?
I think that's a good trade.
Yeah. So I was like, well, ISTE, Scotland. I'll go to
Mm,
Scotland.
yeah. Yeah, I think we're gonna have these there to give away.
Darn.
I'm I'm gonna ask to just send you one.
That would be lovely.
I'll make a little note right here. And Lauren mouse pad.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, you're on my list.
Perfect. Thank you.
That's the good list.
Yay.
So this is what the bot is actually supposed to do when it sees that green and blue, is that little
Yes.
dance like that at the end.
Okay.
Maybe I should recalibrate since the white is different. And maybe it just doesn't like those colors today. I don't know. That's kind of weird. Maybe it doesn't like the blue either. The blue hasn't been an issue. It's been the green lately.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really know why that is, but okay. Did yours do a dance
It
though?
did. It did a dance. I
great.
had to go through that like 3 different times and it did the dance every time. So
That's perfect. All right, let's move on to, what time is it? Oh,
it's I
time for
have
your
to run
meeting.
real quick.
All right, so we'll start on this page when you get back.
Okay.
And I'll be back on right at the top of the hour.
Okay. Thank you so much. I
Okay,
appreciate
thank
it.
you. You're welcome. See you in a little bit.
Yep.